All right, let's do it. We are friends from Craigslist.
Woo! Ooh, that was fire! Yeah.
What's up, folks? Welcome back to the podcast, episode 7. We've made it thus far. Please continue to rate and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. You can also catch us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of the places. All of the links are in the description below. What up, Grace?
How we doing?
Dude, it's good. Last time we did this, I said it's a beautiful Sunday morning in New York City, and today it's a shitty, ugly day in New York City. And I left the window open because it's one of those days. Oh, not again! Because it's one of those days that it's like rainy and hot, so that sucks. But we're here. I'm here with you, and it's getting sunnier by the moment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for warm weather. And then what happens is it's warm, but then it rains. So then you're like, man, I don't want to go out because I don't want to get wet. And then you stay inside, but it's warm out. And it's almost even more depressing than when it's cold out because you're like, I could go out, but I can't.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
it's been, but the last 2 days were beautiful. So I'm like, it's a real, it's getting me really confused. I went out. It was like actually sunny earlier, but anyway.
I mean, that's the other part is I like as soon as it slightly gets nice, I like to put my winter coat away because like I fucking hate being cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be warm. Want to sweat. Love it. And then what happens is I need it, but I'm too stubborn because like yesterday was nice. So in my mind, I'm like, today must be nice. And it's not like I have something in my pocket that could tell me what the weather is because I'm just going to go out and wing it. And then I freeze my butt off because I thought I just needed a sweatshirt. So.
Yep. But it's also not like we can go anywhere, so that's helpful. It's not like, oh man, I was planning a real nice picnic day today in the midst of the COVID. Actually, let me tell you something. I didn't want to tell you this before because I wanted your genuine reaction. We're getting emails to the friendsfromcraigslist at gmail.com, and it's amazing because people want to be on our show. So I'll tell you about that a little bit later. I don't want you on my show, but we'll be on yours for sure. Don't ruin our vibe.
I don't know you. No new friends. We're friends
no
from
new friends.
Craigslist, but like just us. Not you.
No new friends from Craigslist.
No new friends.
So I think it might be a good chance that we're going to be on some on some shows, so we'll keep everyone updated. Yo, did you have a good week? Because I had a pretty whatever week.
I've had all week. So our dog finally got spayed. And the backstory there, for those that don't know, is dogs will go into heat, which means they have their time of the month. Which, like, obviously, when you think about it, you're kind of like, duh, that makes sense. But, like, how many people actually think about it? Not many, because usually it doesn't happen. You didn't grow up doing that.
I wouldn't think about that, to be honest with you.
Right. So we had to, if you're wondering, they make doggy diapers. So we had a whole instance where our dog went to heat 2 weeks before her spaying was originally scheduled. So
was it just a trail of tears from like the bedroom to the
it was a thing. And you're like it was a thing. And then you panic because you don't really know what's happening, where it's coming from. Again, because you don't think about it, especially if you have your spaying scheduled for 2 weeks, you would think your vet would have been more quick to schedule it if they thought something was going to happen. So that happened. So then, of course, if you're also wondering, fun facts of the day, things they don't tell you. Things they don't tell you. Dogs will go into heat. And it's not just like, oh, you wait the 2 weeks for, things to go. No, they have that for like 2 weeks. And then their heightened hormones for like 3 months. So you can't even get spayed for 3 months after. And so now our dog finally got spayed on Monday.
Lord have mercy. That sounds like a lot. Was your dog kind of a dick when it was when she was having her moments? Like, is it like humans? Is there emotional
No, it was
swings?
definitely like the typical woman response, and I say that without trying to piss all the women off because I'm a woman and I do it also. Is the neediness that is exasperated during that time period is 100% hormonally related. So
I don't have that time of the month, and I'm still like that pretty much every day. So
yeah,
that's okay.
So that's fun. So that's what we've been dealing with this week.
Dude, I don't know why I never thought to think about that for a dog.
This is the process. I get them spayed so they don't have babies. There's no like, if I don't, then what happens kind of thought process. And most people like me were kids when they had dogs anyway at a young age. The parents just kind of did it and dealt with it. And 90, I would assume, percent of the time, people get it done at the right time. And that good old 10% of us that gets the short end of the stick where you're 2 weeks too late to schedule that. So
I honestly would not. You're not alone. I wouldn't have thought about it unless somebody told me.
And then for my Lesbehonest aspect of telling off things they don't tell you, is the price of things. Now, I want to, like, I'm not being like a cheap person, except I am being a cheap person because in general, the price of things is ridiculous. And then especially for you New York folks, it just hurts your soul. The things that you pay for here that, you look elsewhere and it's not that. But when we did our spay, for a good whopping $38 is this plastic cone thing that I ended up having to take off because our dog kept running into things and freaking herself out, to buy one at Petco for like $20. That was like the donut. And it was, and why the vet, a place that you're already paying an arm and a leg for to do the procedure, which they're making a hell of a profit. Bang off them. They couldn't spare me a free little plastic thing that I know cost them like 10 cents. So not only is what they gave me not worth the quality that I paid for, but also the amount that I'm paying you to already do a service, like that little freebie could just make my life so much better. Just full happiness of, well, at least I didn't have to pay for this little plastic piece of crap.
Yep. Yeah. Nope. They always get you. It's like, dude, you know what drives me nuts? What really grinds my gears is the extra fees that they put. Why do I keep putting this so high? The extra fees that they get you on like cable and internet. You know what I mean? And they go down the list of like
paying for
New York surcharge. Like,
why are you doing that? Like, I already know you're making a profit. And, I've been watching like this, finance stuff about how like you want to set your price high enough that you're making a profit, but low enough that people are still willing to pay. And I get that. But man, do they really push that envelope of what you're willing to pay. And they take advantage of you. Like, you're already locked into it.
Right, you're screwed anyway, so you might as well rob you.
And it's like, I needed my dog spayed no matter what. So naturally, you need all the bells and whistles. It's kind of like if a pizza place said, we're going to give you a pizza. You want a pizza? We'll give you a pizza. But if you actually want the cheese and the sauce and the pepperoni and that, you have to pay for that. Because otherwise, I'm just going to give you raw dough. And if you want to cook, and it's like, wait, hold on. I'm paying you already $20 for the pizza and the service to make it. But if I actually want what I asked for, and I want the full service, and I want everything, there's extra fees. Why?
Yep.
Why you gotta do that?
That's how they get you. It's ridiculous. It sucks.
Like, how were we able to, back in the day, be able to live through just trade? Not even money. I was able to trade you a cow or a sheep, and I was able to or a sheep for some fruits, and I didn't need money. I could just trade you what I have for what you had, and the world worked.
Yep. I
Now,
know. It's ridiculous. It's always that add-on thing. It's always that other thing. Like, same thing for me. What gets me effing crazy is and it's from everything that we're experiencing now. So I was looking at apartments, and now this new apartment is like, if you're using movers, you can use movers, but then you need the certificate of insurance. And
right,
I'm like, okay, so it's always another thing, and
right,
then another thing, and then like I'm looking at the cable and like getting the internet, and it's this and a initial setup charge, but you set it up yourself at home because of COVID, but they're gonna charge you $5.99, and I'm like, dude, why? And they're
yeah,
like, oh, we're gonna charge you to use the box every month, $12.99. I'm like, well, I can find my own fucking box. Like, it's always another thing. And for like music software, like I use Logic for all my music stuff, but the Logic instrument sounds are kind of crappy. So then you have to buy more instrument sounds, and you got to get a nice mic, and you got to get another interface. There's always another
right.
thing. You
And
can't just get it and it's good.
it's not like I don't understand. So, okay, people will be like, well, people need to make money because if you just bought the one thing and done, then companies wouldn't thrive. I get it. I get it. I get that there is value added to pay for value added. The stuff that gets me is when you're paying for a service for something that should just, and then the things that should just be standard, natural, a part of it, they just have to add. When you know they're making profit, you know they already have it, you're already buying into the model, you already know you're going to buy the upgraded
Yep.
model anyway, and you still have to pay for the stupid $38 plastic cone. It's like,
There's always
it's
something.
is that 38 really going far for you? Because I bet it means more to me to get that free than that $38 in your pocket as you're driving around in your Lamborghini. Because we all know that's the case.
That's like a solid 2 months of laundry. Like
Yeah,
$38 if you're doing like the machines. Just rob you of your dignity too. While I'm at
yeah.
it, just take my pants. Make me walk home with no pants. I don't care.
Basically, they're just giant
Yeah.
bullies that make it just another thing. Like it's always that's the one thing that with owning a house that I have said I think more than anything else is it's another thing.
Always
Like
another thing. And
another
then
thing.
like the
Another thing.
dishwasher breaks, and then the pipe bursts. And then if the pipe bursts, then you got to deal with the water damage. And then the
Yep.
water damage, oh, there's mildew. Oh, if there's mildew, then there's like
And then of course, similarly, it's never I pay the guy to fix it. I pay the guy to fix it a cost that they say is the cost.
mhm.
But to get the material, that's a different cost. Well, hold on. Why did you tell me this is the cost, but the actual thing to do it, you need something else? Well, that doesn't make sense.
Oh wait, have you experienced? Well, I want to ask you about your house because have you experienced one? Did they ever fix your bathrooms? Because I remember one of our Lesbehonest was these freaking people, which bathroom, and two, have you experienced quite yet the? Well, if you throw a little bit of money at it, it might go a little bit faster. If you know what I'm saying.
Well, so
Is that
interesting.
a thing? Am I making that up?
No,
Okay.
100% is a thing, and I think especially in New York,
Uh huh.
that's a thing. And what's interesting is like things like tipping. That's only a U.S. thing. Most other
Oh yeah, yeah.
countries don't tip.
Are
So
you
like that
talking
kind of goes.
tipping in regards to fixing things as well? Now, obviously, restaurants, everybody knows,
So
a pro.
that's what I. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Want your thoughts because I have strong opinions about this.
Okay.
You bought something, material. You paid for a service to come set it up. I paid for the service to come to my house to set it up. Or, for instance, like oil here, you have gas, oil, heat, oil.
Hmm.
Part of my fee is I get free maintenance. They come, they fix it, maintenance. Guy shows up, and you're expected to tip him. Why
Okay.
am I expected to tip you for doing your job?
And you're paying. I'm assuming whatever monthly, yearly, whatever to keep this maintenance thing
Correct.
going.
Like we bought furniture and paid for the furniture and the delivery and all that sort of stuff, and but we tip with people. Same way that when you
Sure.
move,
Sure.
same way when you move, you paid for the service, but you're going to tip the guys who moved you.
Sure. Makes sense.
No, but it doesn't make sense. Why do you
Yeah.
have to
No, I
tip
understand.
people?
The
Why?
custom makes sense, but
Right.
yes,
So why
but
do you
I
have to
agree
tip
with your
people to
reasoning.
do their
Like,
job? Now, I
because
get
I feel like
restaurants
okay,
because a lot of times you aren't paid, you're paid off the tips. And
right,
even
like it's going
that,
to the
my
man. The
my
money, yeah.
bill isn't for your service. My bill is for the food. And like there is I am appreciating you for that service, which is in addition to the meal I have ordered. So I get the extra. But again, if I am paying, if I've just paid for a butler service or a restaurant server service, why would I tip them also? I'm already paying you.
It's kind of like real estate, in my opinion. So the restaurant thing, I know because that was my world, right?
Yeah.
So I know that the money, which it should change, in my opinion. So Danny Myers got it down, in my opinion. I keep saying in my opinion. This is obviously my freaking opinion. Danny Myers got it down. So typically in a restaurant, and well, you know this. I'm just saying this for the viewers. In a restaurant, all the money that is on the bill goes to the house, right, to recoup the food costs, so the restaurant makes a profit,
Right.
and they pay the servers or the bartenders or whoever garbage money, minimum, and which in some restaurants
They don't
that
even pay
or they
minimum.
tax the tips
Yeah.
too, which is a real dick move. I don't know if that's like a thing now across the world, but I think it's a dick move. Anyway, even cash tips they were taxing when I was getting out of that world. Um, but they should change it because Danny Meyer, you know, the Gramercy Tavern, the Modern, all these amazing world-renowned restaurants, everything's included. So you get your bill and it's one flat bill and they say don't tip because it's a revenue share as well as a
Right.
higher hourly, kind of like they do it abroad. So like it's this the US, the greedy United States of America that is making our lives more challenging. Like
Yeah.
and we're used to this custom, right? Like even like I was telling you, this apartment that I looked at has doormen. It's got there's 4 different doormen. I'm like, all right, great. For Christmas, I'm gonna be extra
Oh,
broke this
oh
year.
yeah, holiday. Yeah, which again, for that, I kind of understand. Like my rent is not is part of your service. That's what you get paid for. But the service you do to me is if it's extra, if it's nice, I want to make you feel good. But
And
if
you
you
know they're getting paid crap too, most likely,
right,
like a crappy
right.
hourly.
But if you're paying for a service like a mover, you are paying literally for that sole job, which is them to bring and put down. Just because they enter your home or apartment somehow makes it seem like you then owe them a tip.
Right.
You wouldn't do that if you bought from Amazon and got a delivery. You don't tip your UPS driver. You don't do that. Why not? What's the difference? You're paying.
Right.
You bought a product. I bought a product. It's you to deliver it. That's the product. You did your job. Why do I need to give you extra money for doing your job?
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
make
the only thing that I can assume, and this is just assumption because I don't know, I agree with you. I am assuming that that is similar to the restaurant model where your money goes to the company and then these poor guys are getting like $10 an hour to haul shit. I assume.
I
I
get,
don't know.
but the company is a moving company, so their company is the service, which means they
Right.
would be paying versus the restaurant. The I'm paying for the food. I'm going to a restaurant for the food and that aspect. So there is money to be put back into the aspect.
Established. Right. Right.
Like technically, a restaurant could probably have. You see restaurants now with like digital
Mm-hmm.
order. You don't even talk to a waiter at some places anymore. Like you don't even have that service. Again,
Oh,
a
dude, like all
restaurant
the airports, it's
on
all
the
on a
airports.
yeah.
Exactly. So you don't even need to tip again because the tip is that extra for something that you wouldn't that isn't is extra to your experience. The tip should be extra acknowledgement to an experience you weren't already going to have. But again, pay you for a service. I pay you to do that. Why do I have to tip you if I'm paying you to do that single thing?
Right. And it's like at a restaurant, like you'll always tip the standard, right? And you see it, some places have it on the bottom, right? Like it's like 10% is this, 15% is this, 20% is this, blah blah. But you always tip more if you're like, wow, this server was fantastic. I didn't wait for anything. Like great conversation, weren't too intrusive, blah blah blah. Or the bartender had great conversation, and he was
Yeah.
cool, or she was cool, or whatever. But on the mover thing, like that is very funny because, like, okay, I'm
Would
gonna
you have
tip,
tipped
like,
them? Were you thinking you had to tip them?
right, like, God knows,
I tipped them. I tipped the movers. Why?
right?
I don't know why.
Because like you moved my box real good,
You paid them to do, you literally, what you are paying for is that service. So why do you have to tip?
right? Like you did your job. Here's
Right.
extra money because you gently put my box down.
But I also expect that when I buy a service. I expect
Right.
that I pay the premium company versus the other one because the service I am the same way I would buy the more expensive product versus the
Mm-hmm.
other one because I expect it to be better.
Better quality, right?
Right. I don't tip a product. I don't tip Johnson and Johnson if their toothpaste was great that time. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying people are inanimate objects in a product. I get the people are people,
But the
but it's still
service is
the
the
same
product.
thing of I paid for a product, the money goes back to the company to make the product better. I paid for a service, the company goes back into the money to give to the service people because that's their product to make it better.
Right.
Versus like makes no sense. I don't
Now it's
understand
just like a
why.
battle with your conscience, right? Like,
Right, because then that's the other
you
thing too is like if I don't tip my an
then you're a
asshole.
dick. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Man,
then
it's
what's too little? What's too much? Like if I give you $5, are you insulted? Or are you grateful that you got anything? Like
right. God, we're gonna have to have this whole conversation over again when I move. But
it's serious. Like it's unbelievable, and it's just like again to me, if I'm paying for that now, if I paid for furniture and they delivered it for free and they came in and they set it up, I would tip them. Again, there was an extra element that I was not expecting that was done by a person.
because they didn't have to put it together, or they didn't have
Correct.
to
That I
whatever.
appreciate and want them to know that I appreciate it. It is my way of giving back appreciation. But if I paid you extra money to come in and set it up, why do I have to tip you to do what you did?
The
Why?
world is, it's America. Welcome to
It's
America.
unreal though. Like
It's
it's
ridiculous,
unreal.
dude. You
And it
see,
probably is the whole reason that companies feel they can pay them shit in the first place because they expect them to get tipped. And
right?
to your point about the restaurants, if it was just included in the whole thing, then not only would they probably get paid better,
Yeah,
but then we don't have to worry about that whole moral dilemma of what's cheapening someone. And also, I'm broke as hell and I want to be spending all
dude.
my
The
money on tipping something that I'm already broke because I bought it.
the whole pay structure of the world, in my opinion, is just upside down anyway. And we can go on for days with this because like teachers, people that are in the service industry, all
Oh, yeah.
getting like crap money with big responsibilities. And like, but NBA players that sit out for 12 weeks are getting like $5.7 million.
Yeah.
Like I'm like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course, it's not limited to service workers and teachers, but like it's insane.
I mean, I almost went on that tangent today on my Lesbehonest of these
Oh, I'll save
like,
it.
little kids, like influencers who get a butt ton of money for not doing anything. And you're just like,
Like, what's life? What's my life?
what we, and again, this is a whole other tangent. So I'm going to say my comment and put a
Yes.
pin in it. But what we put, the things we put a dollar sign on is a very messed up value system.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like if we ranked, like if an alien came down to Earth and was like, rank to me your highest paying things, people, jobs, stuff like that. And to me, that shows you what you as a race,
Right.
human race, versus us aliens, see as value. It would be things like Yeah, there might be doctor up there. And then there'd be like teen influencer who eats on TikTok who gets a lot of money. And then it would
Yep.
be some guy who got lucky in the stock market about anything that nothing he knew. And then like
Yeah. Yep. It's like nonsensical,
and
man.
all the way down the bottom would be things like teachers who it are the ones that are the reason for our future. But right, our value is definitely that kid
Right,
who
but the
eats
the
food.
guy that plays a kid's game for a living, let's give him all the money or her all
Right,
the money.
right, right. Because that's
Especially baseball. I'm offended that baseball players get so much. They hit a ball and run. And it's so boring to watch. I'm sorry for the baseball fans out here, but MLB is so effing boring to watch. And I'm thinking, okay, if I go in person, it's going to be more fun. No. So you're in person and it's just hot and bored as opposed
and
to in
really
my
expensive
house.
beer.
And really
Really
expensive beer. You can't even get
expensive beer.
drunk. And I got drunk at a baseball game and it didn't make it any more fun. I just got a lot more bored and contemplated how quick can I leave. So again, maybe baseball is just not my thing. But that being said, stop paying those so much money. Speaking of, not to transition too crazy, have you seen these motherfuckers in Miami? I cannot. I need to. That's gonna be a Lesbehonest for the future because this pandemic's gonna still keep going and people are gonna really continue to do stupid shit. Have you seen these people on spring break? They said there's a curfew. Number one, they said there's a curfew. Number two, the amount of just like you're like this in the streets because people are being stupid and like partying and raging on the streets. Why do you rage on the streets, young people? Why is it on this? Go somewhere and legally go into a bar. I understand, like they're saying, "Oh, go outdoor." Which is it? DeSantis is the governor of Florida. You dumb. What is anyway? So they're shooting pepper bullets, and these like I was watching it on CNN. I think it was CNN, and well, it was on every news channel, but specifically on CNN, the cops are shooting pepper bullets at these people, and they're just like, whatever, pepper, I don't care, and they're still bumping and grinding. I'm like, you dumb, just wait. I know that, like, I was having a conversation with somebody, and I should remember because I don't talk to many people these days. I was having a conversation with somebody, and they're like, oh, yeah, like, they just want to get out. We've all been quarantined for so long. And I'm like, yeah, but just, like, you've come this far. Like, just a little bit more? Or just have a little sense. Like,
I
the
mean,
restaurants are open to 50%. Go sit outside and have a drink or something. Cool. Like, but you got to do spring break so bad. Like, your life sucks that much that you just need to look forward to a trip, and that's it.
yeah. I
Like,
mean, this is I mean, down a very long rabbit
oh,
hole.
yeah, sorry. I'm pinning
Kids,
it. I'm pinning it.
kids these days, even though we're not old, but kids these days who I think there's a difference in generation of us who had discipline and got a whooping and the kids these days who
If I did that, if I flew somewhere right now, period, my mom would fly there and kick my ass.
right nowadays like and it's not the parents' fault and I want to like emphasize I mean partly but it's not like but it's such shame these days of oh you can't tell your kid no like that whole you can't tell your kid no the kid whatever like that whole like era of things and you know let them explore and learn and do but don't tell them no and it's like but tell
Like,
them no
no, tell them no. They need to learn no. I
yeah
was like, my
this is
family
what
was
happens when you don't tell them no
right,
is
and they do stupid shit.
yeah
And I don't want to say like, I know I have friends, like let's say acquaintances. I don't have many friends. I've got people that I've come in contact with at some point in my life that are doing this sort of thing, and I would never like go out and shame them because like again, it's not my business.
right
I'm just
you do
speaking to
you
the general whole
well
thing of like, dude, like just wait.
yeah
Like
well I mean, it's goes back to you do you. I don't care what you do, but
Don't F
once you
me up.
start harming others or putting out and this is one of those because
Right.
we are in a pandemic.
Yeah.
You're not just doing something stupid like we used to do in, whatever college where you climb on a roof because you think it's fun, and the worst that happens, you hurt yourself because you're an idiot. Like, no, like you're actually bringing other people down with you.
And I
And
think
that's what college these days.
they interviewed the camera guy interviewed one of these kids, and I shit you not, this kid was maybe 16, 17, so like shouldn't even be drinking anyway, and clearly drunk, beat red in the face. He goes, "It's okay, man. I've been vaccinated." And I'm like, "Dick, how do you lie on TV? You're like, you can't at the point. Well, now you can because in certain states you can do 16 up, but this was before that." I'm like, "Dude, there's no way."
Yeah.
I'm
And
like,
there's no
"Oh."
way all of you. So, all right,
Right.
let
Oh yeah,
me
you're all
do it. Yeah.
vaccinated. Anyway, I digress. Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be fantastic. We've got some really fun things coming up, and we're gonna do some guest stars, and we're gonna guest star on something. I haven't really told you about it, but you're gonna do too. And we're kind of a package deal. If I say we or I, it means we.
Yeah. I figured.
And no, I'm excited. It's gonna be awesome, and I can't believe this is episode 7 already. Time's flying by. And we'll be back with more.
And just goes to show you, we actually read the email. So
We do read the emails, so don't forget to email us, friendsfromcraigslist@gmail.com. Other people are doing it. You should too. It's what the cool kids are doing these days. They're also getting vaccinated. They're also not twerking in the streets of Miami. Because if you do that, well, email me. Let me know. I want to know why you're twerking.
yeah.
But don't do that. It's bad. Anyway, guys, episode 7. Grace, you're looking great as always.
Right back at you.
We'll be back. We'll recap the week. We'll shit on some more people. It's gonna be great.
Woo.
Later.